up, guys? Welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, we're doing an update to the video I covered last week, which is titled, My Wife Expected Me to Accept a xless Marriage, so I took my cash to Thailand and married a hot local. And guys, as a recap, that's about the guy who's in his 70s right now. He's been living in Thailand for, I think, about 18 years. After his first wife, when he was around, I guess, late 40s or so, 50 years old, informed him that she no longer loved him, that she was never going to sleep with him again, all that, and basically, but you're going to stick around and help take care of the bills and take care of the kids. And he said, nope, not happening. And then, like that, flip switch, she went freaking crazy on him, tried to make his life a nightmare with the divorce and all that, and eventually he realized he wasn't going to win this and got out of Dodge. Took his remaining money, started over, and he's been kicking butt and taking names, living the life over in Thailand. Well, he's writing in with an update here as to more about what his life was like when he first moved there, women he got involved with, more details about his ex, that type of thing. And I thought it'd be a pretty good one to go over here because his story is really interesting, and there's a lot of guys that are interested in relocating to that part of the world and would like to learn a few things, so I figured, hey, why not cover it? So he says here, hello SSM. Thanks again for the email and posting my story. It was really great to receive the huge amount of support from comments. It was a very difficult era of my life. You asked me to name the Hollywood production in my house. There were several TV series, a movie, and a few commercials shot there. He mentioned in his first story that the house he had before he got divorced was used for different movies and shows. The most impressive one was from the show The Outer Limits. It was from MGM Studios and several other production companies, huge budget. I'll include a screenshot of my favorite episode, but please keep the episode confidential. Yeah, he showed me the picture. I never watched the show, so I didn't know, but I think that's very cool. You also asked me why my young wife and I haven't had any kids. We tried for the first year, and she was disappointed nothing that happened, but she's been warned that pregnancy would probably be difficult for her. Now she absolutely does not want kids. She loves her freedom and her life together. Okay, I was wondering why she didn't want to have kids. Well, there you go. And my own children are slightly older and younger than her. They are fine with the happiness of our marriage. Both of my children are still pushing for higher degrees and are now both in their 30s. Okay, y'all get along great. That's great. Everybody's happy. Except your harpy of an ex-wife. Your final question was why my ex, Louise, was flown around the country as a court reporter. Great question. She actually was one of those typing group that did transcripts from tapes inside the courtroom. But she was no ordinary typist. She was like a rare genius savant who could type on an IBM Selectrix with unbelievably high speeds and complete accuracy. There were only 3 in the entire nation who could produce these instant transcripts. Well, okay, she's a savant, then obviously she is amazing at certain things, and not amazing at other things like actually being a human being and love and all that. I'm not saying savants can't love before anybody jumps down my throat and reacts. I'm just saying her. These ladies were contracted by the highest levels of the federal government. Their cases often involve hundreds of millions of dollars in damages or fines, etc. So the legal teams were the top in their fields, but her team remained constant. They were highly paid. They would have top aides sent to whisk them away to a massive lawsuit somewhere in the country, staying in luxury hotels or special rooms filled with legal teams. And she worked for the federal government, all on taxpayer money. Champagne and caviar receptions every night, brushing shoulders with some big names. Again, that's my point. Okay, maybe, who knows, but regardless, champagne and caviar, I don't know anybody that actually likes caviar, and I think anybody that says they are is full of shit. I didn't want to try it. It's disgusting, as well as, why do you want to be that pretentious douchebag that claims you like caviar? Fine, James Bond had his beluga caviar before he banged some girls sometimes, but fine, that's a fucking show. So sadly for me, her brain was able to simply sit back, watch and enjoy the unfolding drama as her fingers flew on the keyboard. I was very proud of her until I was her enemy. She had witnessed the absolute top government and private industry legal teams fighting one another, and the best liar always won. She would listen as one team would destroy the other side, and then be amazed at how the counter-arguments would swing the other way. When she represented herself, the senior partner of the family law specialist firm I'd hired was informed of her crazy, nasty self-represented filings and demands. He actually came to my courtroom to see his top litigator get destroyed by my wife. That was the part that just seemed just too crazy to be true. I mean, I believe you, but it just seems what? She wasn't an attorney, and these top firms were like, oh shit, I'm not dealing with her. Well, he said she's a savant, so obviously she was able to absorb everything in that regard, and there you go. Plus, she was just fucking angry as hell. He actually came to my courtroom to see top litigator to destroy my wife. He found out her background, and they slashed my fees to get out. They were kind enough to warn me that she'd take everything, and I'd have to represent myself best I could. My fees were over at $7,000. He said he'd just pay $1,000 for their filing costs, and good luck. Word spreads through the legal community. That is crazy, man. If she was that good, I don't know, why didn't she go to fucking law school or something like that? This fueled her vengeance to new levels. I lost every attempt to protect myself, and she nailed me for another $25,000 judgment, which she had enforced by the government maintenance pit bull agency. Pay or have assets seized and then jailed, all on a legally false claim that didn't follow the court orders and our divorce decree. And your children, as adults, are aware of how their mom behaved. I thought I had really chose my wife carefully. She was living at home and only 3 blocks from my original family home. She attended a different elementary school, but was a year behind me in junior and senior high. Her father was a pillar of the community, having started the entire sports league in our local park, all in his volunteer time. He was a well-known coach and umpire. Her brother was a state soccer player champ and was drafted to play the most famous English leagues, Manchester United, etc. Wow. We had apparently attended the same church, and we were married in it with lots of family and friends. So obviously you didn't really know her that well growing up. I guess it must have been a very big congregation. She has substantial savings to add to my savings for the purchase of our first 1-acre lot together, and both fathers worked side by side building our first house, slowly with cash. Louise hammered all the siding and cedar roof shingles with me, side by side. Again, remember, they got married back in the late 70s, so a different world. So regardless of any good start in our marriage, or any marriage, stuff changes. Basically, don't marry in the West, period. Especially if your area changes to no-fault divorce. Now it's time for my next story, my first Thai girlfriend. Again, this is before RP internet knowledge was available. Okay, so when he first gets to Thailand after his great escape. Because he obviously didn't marry that chick for quite some time. It says here, Nong, that was her name, Nong. Was her last name Wong or Dong or Chong or Kong? I can't help it, man. Anybody gets offended and says SSM's a racist, I'm fucking kidding. I make jokes about everybody. There's always going to be somebody. They'll stumble upon my videos and, I don't like how he talks. Nong was, I can't help but laugh. Nong was a professional hairstyle and previous runway model in Bangkok. Photos included. Yeah, he sent some pictures of Nong. Nong's good looking, back when you took the pictures. She was 9 years younger than me, and her Thai ex-husband had custody of the 2 kids, who were now adults. Her husband was from a famous Muay Thai boxing family and had a fair amount of money. He was fairly typical of his culture and drank, fought, and cheated a lot. Custody here goes to the person who has the money to raise the kids. This is why 90% of the Thai bars and go-go's are single moms sending money back home. Grandparents usually raise most children here. She had previously been married to an Alaskan fisherman with his own boat. The reasons for divorce seemed logical at the time. Now I wonder. So she was married to an Alaskan fisherman, then on to this former Muay Thai fighter, and then, okay. Great. That ain't relationship material, because it sounds like it ain't going to work. I told her that I would never remarry or have more kids. I wanted peace and a good lady. Well, isn't that what all guys want? We traveled around Thailand in a rented car and saw most of the country together. I flew her to my condo in Waikiki, and she received many admiring looks. The girl had style and grace. We studied Kung Fu together in the top academy in China, and this lady's skills were perfect, deadly, and awesome to watch. She memorized extremely difficult long Taoist sets with total ease. Well, the pictures you sent of her back in the day, I mean, she was very fit. She's very fit looking and in shape. By this point, I studied enough Thai property law to purchase a foreclosed beach house. The land can only be registered in Thai name only. However, a foreigner can have a 30-year unbreakable lease on the title. I had a lease loan put right into the title in the government land office. We agreed to renovate the house and add a pool and then sell it and split the profits. Sounds good to me. We did this successfully, and I had enough to add to my cash amount and look at luxury foreign freehold condos in my name only. She took her portion and bought a coconut farm I found her near the beach. I made sure it was subdividable into residential lots. We both won, and it felt good. So you're bringing your skills to Thailand that you had in the USA, because he was doing that type of shit on the side in the USA. The other promise she made was that she'd never say no to making love. Just wake her up any time. Plus that no matter what we may disagree on, nobody ever left the bedroom. Well, that's good to hear after the reason you got divorced, aside from many reasons that your wife said she doesn't love you anymore. But this is why you don't marry. You see, obviously Nong or Dong, or whatever the hell her name is, knows that you're not married, you're not together, and you can walk away at any time. So she better be on her best behavior on multiple fronts. And of course, you are being good to her too. This is after a dead bedroom and sexless marriage. This seemed pretty good to me. Well, I purchased an extremely prestigious beachfront condo outside of a major tourist city. It was built as holiday rooms for the super rich and powerful 1% of Thai who own 50% of everything in the country. 2 ex-prime ministers were owners then. Now top executives plus the current prime minister owns a couple of units there. Each unit is minimum 2,500 square feet with 3 bedrooms and bathrooms and maid and driver's quarters. But these people rarely visit, maybe a son or a member of the family. But when police convoys rolled in, it got active. The rest of the time, only 6 rooms were actually lived in by the expats like myself. Sounds good to me. It's quiet all the time usually until the big shots roll in. Unfortunately, Nong started to get a bit controlling. Well, number one, she is an older woman. Okay, your wife now is much younger than you, but if you got there in your mid-50s and Nong or Dong, whatever her name is, was 9 years younger than you, she's in mid-40s, yeah, she's had a lifetime to develop that, and she probably was feeling comfortable with you. But you were a rookie to all this, so obviously you probably were given some signs, unbeknownst to you, that she could start pee-whipping you, hence her starting to get controlling. The bars were a few miles away in this new province, and she feared the competition. See? She's in her mid-40s. She knows that gals in their 20s can easily swoop in and get you. The reality is she should have been even on her better behavior then, not trying to control you. That's just going to ruin everything. It's like the saying from Star Wars when Princess Leia said, the more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers. She was trying to be Tarkin and tighten the grip of control, and you're like, bitch, there's 20-something-year-old Thai women everywhere I can replace you with. Says here, plus, near the beginning of the relationship, she made 2 mistakes that gave away a few things. When we first were going to her parents' rubber tree plantation, she told me that her mother would shame her if she said she was unmarried and traveling with a man. She needed a diamond ring to prove our relationship depth. Red flag, get out of there, get away from Nong, Then her family took me to an adjacent small rubber tree farm with a house and pressured me to buy for 30 grand. Good price, but no way I was jumping into that stuff. See, there you go. They see you, they're thinking, cha-ching. It's like, if you're going to go for this crap, then do it with a 20-something-year-old, not a mid-40s Thai woman. Well, by the time we moved into my then condo, I knew that old Thai mothers don't know or care about diamonds. They cared about gold. Plus, Nong's old gold ring suddenly appeared when she wanted to sell it. And by then I knew that the rubber farm was not freehold and had no title. It was leasehold crown land. Worthless for a foreigner, a money grab for her family. See? They're setting you up. Time to end things with Nong. Carefully, even though legally I could legally throw her out at any time, I started to go with new expat friends. Drinking and obviously heading to the bar areas. Nong was talking about going back to America to see her daughters there. Both has citizenship. Be like, hey, go have a great time. And don't come back. Well, one night she threatened to leave me and said that she was probably right, and I've been thinking about wanting a new family anyway. She doesn't even know. She actually thinks she has the power. You're a Western guy with a lot of money, and you've got property, and you're starting different business enterprises there, and you got poontang everywhere after you, competing for you in their 20s. How is she going to compete with some 20-something-year-old something babes around you, and you got money, and she's going to give orders? This is how her mind works. I offered her 100,000 Thai baht, $3,000 US, and an airplane ticket. She accepted and packed up and left without any conflict. There you go. I bought a second, new small one-bedroom condo in the heart of the biggest bar area in the world and led 2 lies. Healthy exercise with a Taoist and Buddhist philosophy on the beach, and crazy bar guy in the city. Oh, you're in your 50s living it up, huh? After all those years of Marissa Louise and all the shit she put you through, you earned some fun. My adventures and experiences would take another post, and I'm not sure if the SSM community is interested. Well, guys, if you want to hear about his adventures of him living it up and living La Vida Loca in Thailand at the bar scene and all that in his 50s, post-divorce, post-nong dong, then let's hear in the comment section, and our brother here will send it in. Even 10 years later, this entire go-go cheers when I walk in, and the manager clears my VIP corner table in what's called the naughtiest go-go in the city. It's hilarious. Meaning you spent a lot of money there and probably brought a lot of girls home. This is also contentious as most expats won't spend a penny extra in bars. But I watch to see if they're happy and smiling, and they're not. They tend to be miserable old scowling guys vowing to avoid all women. But the choices are endless. When I get out, it's a great time. So there's a lot of expats there escaping the Western world, and they're still pissed off. I wouldn't be pissed off there. I'd be having a big old smile on my face. Well, to conclude the short story, several comments requested advice for people retiring here. Okay, this is some good information. Glad you posted it. First, do not use me as a role model. Every long-term expat agrees on the following rules. Don't buy anything, rent. Don't marry and don't cohabitate. They actually have a 3-day rule. No more than 3 days with any Thai lady, no matter what. Well, you were buying because it's not like you were buying temporarily and then renovating and flipping the properties. Okay. But eventually you bought something. But that sounds like you got plenty of dough. And obviously you cohabitated with the other one. I learned that was a mistake. And eventually you got married. But I know you had your reasons for that. After a minimum of 7 years, when you're getting tired of endless fun and your health may be failing or you want a family, then be extremely careful with your search for that one really awesome traditional lady. I know many great marriages here, but wisdom is placed as the first priority. Choose whatever lifestyle makes you happy at the time, and know there are options for change anytime you want. Yes, exactly. I'm living extremely happily in a man's paradise, but this place will find your weakness and exploit it. If you can't control drinking, this place is the worst place on earth. Drinking is available 24/7 on every single street. Sex is also available, and you can order in if you want to stay home. And great cheap food is overly abundant. Okay, so let's put this in perspective here. Booze 24/7 whenever you want it. Poontang, punani, whatever you want to call it. Again, available anytime you want it, 24/7, even delivered in. And great food. Yeah, darn, tough life you're living over there, man. That's why many of my friends had 2 places. I still do now. Temptation is everywhere, so very, very easy. Balance is the key and most difficult to obtain. I'm sure your wife, who's now in her 30s now, just loves it so much when you go back over there. I'm sure she holds on to you, doesn't let go. P.S. Just frequent FYI for the community, when meeting my future wife, I took her to my small city condo where she thought I rented. We went to an inexpensive restaurant to eat. I picked her up in my old original little Honda Fitz Jazz, and we talked through Google Translate. I was able to simply observe how she acted in public, and there was no rush. I like how you, in other words, hid your wealth. You took her on an inexpensive date. You didn't let her get used to the high, expensive type of lifestyle. And you wanted to see if she'd stick around in spite of all that. Good for you. Even 10 years later, she does not know my wealth or income sources. Keep it that way. Everything is paid with cash. I pay for everything and give a small monthly allowance. My assets are completely protected. She's been given a condo, but I again have a lease. I've given her a house with me holding a life estate title. My will sets her up for life, but it's easy to change. My future is protected, hers is too, but with conditions attached. Remember in the first story, guys, he admitted the reason he got married is because he's concerned very much about when he gets to be so old and can't take care of himself. And some people could rightfully say, well, what guarantee is she's going to do it? Well, this guy has set things up to be that she does do that and take care of him when he gets old and gets forgetful and can't do things like that. Plus, in Thailand, it's a serious offense if you don't take care of the elderly, which I'll mention momentarily. It says here, I witnessed her happily helping really old people in the village. I trust she will stay with me by my side as my health declines. Thailand law really punishes families who desert elderly people. So there's both a strong legal and moral obligation to take care of elderly family. However, the only constant in life is change. Correct. Things are always going to change. That's interesting about Thailand law. I did not know that. I had several different lives here and have taken calculated risks with relationships and investments. I've almost lived here free, and my life has become better every year. Unfortunately, I had a really bad type of cancer 5 years ago, and decisions after that were affected by my probability of less longevity than anticipated. Shifting assets to avoid probate, etc. I do hope this helps the community. Well, bro, that was I know it was an abrupt ending, but that was good. Good to hear about that, little information about Thailand and moving over there and stuff like that. And I'm glad you answered the questions that both myself and a lot of the guys had there. So, obviously, when you first got there, you're partying like crazy. Eventually, you got that girlfriend Dong or Wong. Nong, right? Nong Dong, no, Non Dong Wong. I'm going to hell. Nong. And you learned real quick. Obviously, you probably no doubt showed some signs that she could pee whip you, and she was trying. And I'm glad you got out of there. But you saw how their family was trying to hustle you and get some money out of you. I'm sure a lot of Western guys, as you said, that lifestyle can exploit weaknesses. So if your weakness is women, but in the sense of relationships, there you go. I'm glad you learned, at least early on, and you've been doing well. But never for a second get too comfortable. I know you know that. I know you know that from your life experiences here in the West, And it's a lesson for all the guys there. But anyhow, man, you earned this. Keep yourself healthy. I'm sorry to hear about the cancer scare, but obviously you're being more careful now. And I hope it goes well. But guys, if you want to hear more about his crazy days when he was single and the drinking and the craziness and living it up with wine, women, and song in Thailand, let him know. Let him know in the comment section. He'll write out, probably send it out next week. Alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. Catch you next time.